This little box is an action camera, and it is actually my favorite action camera out of the 10 that I have. And why is that? Why is this little device my favorite action camera? And that's for one very specific reason, which I'll explain right now. This is the AEE AEE Life Silver. Focus, please. There we go. The AEE Life Silver action camera. Ignore that 4K 10 frames per second, because let's face it, who's really going to be using a 10 frames per second video feature? No one. I don't think so. It's very choppy. AEE Life Silver action camera. What's very interesting about this device is that, let's just move this tripod up a little bit. There we go. What's very interesting about this device is that it looks like an ordinary action camera, and it actually is an ordinary action camera with 1080p 60 frames per second as a resolution setting. But what I like, and for some reason I don't see more of this, is that the lens, the area with the lens actually has the area with the lens actually, there's no curvature, right? It's more of a glassy texture. So what that means is that if there's some dust or dirt and you want to wipe the screen, you can just do it with your finger like this, and it will still stay perfectly clean with no smudges. It does not attract smudges. Whereas a lot of the other cameras that you'll see, a lot of those cheap action cameras, and maybe the more expensive ones as well, I don't know, there's more of a curvature. So if you were to wipe it, the texture is such that it'll actually make it even worse. It'll smudge the screen and it'll attract tons of dirt. But with more of a glassy texture and glassy surface, you can just wipe the dust off with your finger, as your finger is clean, and you're going to actually clean the screen. You don't have to use a special cloth. You don't have to worry about if there's like, if you're on the beach and it drops like this, then suddenly there's sand all over the lens and you just make it worse by cleaning it with your finger. A lot of those cameras do have that curvature of the lens, and here, maybe it does have it, but it's really protected by this glass on the front, which is incredible because it really makes it the most portable action camera that I have without the underwater housing. It does have underwater housing, but I'm just showing you without the underwater housing. Really also, just in terms of appearance, very solid looking device. It looks, I mean, I don't know if this is metal, but it just looks very sturdy. This must be your speaker. Very secure here with some of these small cheap action cameras without the underwater proof housing. They don't have this little cover. Here we have this cover which protects, even more protects your SIM card and from the elements. So it's, even without your underwater housing, you're still very much protected with this little cover here. And again, just I cannot really state how cool it is that it has this glass surface that allows you to just wipe the lens clean using your finger. I figured you'd see more of that, but of course I got this for $30, but now I recently checked the price on Amazon. It's more like $45 now, so that's really quite a sale that I got it for. The AEE Life Silver, I'm not going to guarantee you're going to have a good experience, but it does have 1080p 60 frames per second as a video option. So I'm going to show you some test footage in the next clip, and also some sample photos, and actually takes photos pretty well for a cheap action camera. So all in all, my favorite camera due to the portability. Just looks very solid, very sturdy, and of course the fact that the lens, the part over the lens is never really going to get dirty because it has glass over it. So pretty awesome in my opinion. The AEE Life Silver, don't really use the 4K 10 frames per second. It's very choppy, obviously. But the 1080p 60 frames per second, I like that video setting a lot. I think it's pretty clear. So look forward to some sample footage and sample photos in the next clip. My favorite action camera, this one right here. (1080p) video test, 60 frames per second. AEE Life Silver action camera. 1080p video test, 60 frames per second with the AEE Life Silver action camera. .1080p video test, 60 frames per second. Test 60 frames per second. .1080p video test, 60 frames per second.